Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Wizard of True Star by Todd Rundgren. My name is Terry, or Nimbus Cloud. I'm a musician myself, so if you want to check out my music, it's down in the description box below. Oh, also, if you guys are already subbed to the channel, and if you're not, please sub. But if you're not subbed to the channel, if you are subbed to the channel, doesn't really matter, I guess. Check out the community tab. There, I post a lot of stuff about updates or what I'm going to do with the channel. Recently, I've decided to make a playlist, like a weekly updated, curated playlist by me, trying to introduce people who watch this channel to newer music. So if that's what you're interested in, stuff like that, that will be coming up. But all stuff like that, updates, little polls and stuff like that will be in the community tab. So just click on the profile, my profile, and just head over to the community tab and check that stuff out. So yeah, without further ado, we're going to jump into A Wizard of True Star. I actually own this vinyl of this twice. I think I bought it. I don't remember where I bought it for the first time. Some record store somewhere. And then I saw it again and then bought it again because it was like in slightly better condition. So I bought that one too. So this is an album that I'm super familiar with. I've heard it before. I usually listen to albums I've already heard on the channel. Usually music I'm familiar with. So it's kind of more of like a reaction / review. Like listen through type of thing. So if that's what you're interested in, please continue to watch. Please subscribe because I got a bunch of videos like this and I intend to do a lot more. So yeah, basically we're just going to get started with the album. I started listening to this album first from, actually because I heard, Tame Impala, Kevin Parker of Tame Impala. This was an influence for Lonerism, which is like my favorite album all time. So basically that got me super interested in Todd Rundgren. And yeah, I listened to this album all the time during that period when I heard it. I haven't heard it in a while though, so this will be kind of like a refresher. So yeah, without any further ado, let's just go ahead and jump into the album. I'm listening on Spotify, the remastered version. I think it'll be just because it'll be a little louder. Yeah, I'm just gonna give a rundown of how I feel about each track after it. International feel. A couple of these songs run into each other. Whoops. A couple of these songs run into each other. So I'll try to, for the most part, just listen through like a section and then give an opinion. Yeah. So without further ado, for real this time, let's just go ahead and get started.
a place where dreams are born and time is never planned. It's not on any chart, you must find it in your heart. Never, never land. It may be miles beyond the moon, or right there where you stand. Just keep an open mind, and then suddenly you'll find never, never land. You'll have a treasure if you stay there, more precious far than gold. For once you have found your way there, you will never, never grow old. And that's my home where dreams are born and time is never planned. Just think of pleasant things and your heart will fly on wings forever.
Okay. That was a 3-song run. So before it gets into You Need Your Head, which is another great song, International Feel is such a great song because it just like, this album came out in 1973. The synth palette on this album is crazy. Like, it's so like just varied and like imaginative, and it's like very surreal. It's like even the cover, like the cover is like, it looks like a Salvador Dali painting. Like there's like shapes and like weird, like I don't even know how to describe it. Like his face is almost like split into 2 perspectives, like one facing you and one facing like a side profile. I had to stare at it a long time to understand what was like happening with that. It's like, and then there's all these like weird shapes and like weird, the color palette. It's just a very like cool looking album. I don't know what, I think I've read a couple things about what was going through his head during the time. But I don't remember now, but like, I don't know. It's a crazy album. It's crazy. I like how every song kind of transitions into the next song. Like for, you know, the technology they had back in 1973, I'm guessing he recorded the year before in 72, but that's insane to me that he like, it just sounds so like imaginative and different. Even like, I know there was a lot of stuff happening in the 60s with the psychedelic period and all that kind of stuff. And this feels like a continuation of that, but like a new like perspective and a new spin on it. And it's just crazy. Neverland is a beautiful song, and it really feels like you're just floating into a Peter Pan-like, you know, I don't even know what they even call it. Just like, it's just epic. And Tick, or I always call it TikTok. Tick, 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 it wears off. That feels very like, I don't know. It kind of grounds you a little bit because it brings you back with those drums. I don't know. It's like it's so imaginative. It's all over the place, and it's just like it's crazy. So yeah, let's get into "You Need Your Head," another crazy short song. And it's like I like how all the songs are just like short ideas. He didn't try to force like 3 verses out of a song or force like a bunch of choruses or something. He just did what felt right, got in and got out. Incredible. Todd Rundgren is a genius. All right, yeah, but without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into the next song.
Don't you think of anything but sex?
That is such an interesting like what the hell? It's just so like weird. It's so weird. It's so just like uniquely weird. It's like I don't think I've heard anything like that in music before. It's just so strange. Like Rock and Roll Pussy and then Dogfight Giggle. It's just like those combination of songs I feel like feed off of each other just like perfectly. Cause it's like, you know, he says that line about don't you ever, you know, obviously what he says about the sex line. But then it's just like I feel like that line should have probably came after like Rock and Roll Pussy. But the way he does the sounds in Dogfight Giggle, they make it sound almost like it's like a bunch of couples or something having sex or something. Like I don't know what the I don't know what the perspective is supposed to really be, because to me, and you know, being somebody who like knows how like tapes and samples work to a degree, it's just like it just sounds like he just recorded a bunch of people like laughing, or maybe himself, you know, sped it up or slowed it down depending on how he wanted it to sound, and it just sounds like a bunch of laughing to me, like how the song is titled. But then he says the sex line, and I'm just like, that's very interesting. Like, could that also be like, you know, him trying to say it could sound like people having sex? Like, I don't know. It's interesting. It's just like, that's so unique. Like, I don't know. It's very interesting. Probably could have been a little shorter, to be honest with you. Like, very, very interesting. Yeah, now we're going into You Don't Have to Camp Around. Another fantastic song.
We don't like it, but mommy still wonders, sweet boy. But you're allowed to try it, and I point no finger, sweet boy. But I'm still wondering what it means, boy. You hold your wrist so limply, you don't have to camp around. Save all your money, go confess on Sunday, sweet boy. And you get your copy of Honey back on the street by Monday, sweet boy. Tell me, where does that leave, boy? Save the satin undies, don't pluck out your eyebrows, stow the mincy lips too. You don't have to camp around.
I'm gonna pause it there just because I feel like I need to say something about like You Don't Have to Camp Around and Flamingo. You Don't Have to Camp Around. I really love the sound of the drums on that. Like the drums sound so nice and like they're like quiet drums because he's using brushes, and it's just like the sound of brushes usually doesn't really attract me in songs for whatever reason. Like I hear brushes, I prefer drumsticks, the sound of drumsticks hitting a drum to brushes, but under certain contexts drums brushes sound really good, and it's like the way it kind of sweeps and kind of sweeps into the like the snare hit. It makes it like takes the place of like a hi-hat, almost like an open hi-hat sound, and I really like that. Like it's something that's so smooth and like just nice about that sound. Like all the drums like really capture my ear in that song. And then Flamingo, it's just like, again, it's just like this was basically recorded in 1972. The sound effects and all the synth sounds that he's using in this is well ahead of its time, in my opinion. Like that is crazy. Like I don't think I heard anything this imaginative like prior. I want to say I haven't really, like in terms of synths, because they weren't like super prevalent in the 60s. Like I mean, like, I can't really think of any records in the 60s that were like heavy synth wise. I mean, I'm sure there are. Like, I think what was that? There's a couple electronic albums, I think that started in the 60s, but like Switched on Bach, didn't that come out in the 60s? Somebody, if you know in the comments, let me know about that. I think that came out in like sometime in the mid to late 60s. And then there was another guy who was like, I forgot his name though. I'll have to look it up and put it on the screen. But there was another guy who was like making albums that were purely electronic from like Moog synthesizers. So I'm like, something is very super interesting that like, even though it's very early days in terms of the synth, because they really synth didn't really become popular till I feel like the 80s. Like that's when everybody and their mother was recording with synthesizers, and it was like very, you know, synth pop was very prevalent. But here it's like it's used in such an interesting way into the architecture of the song. You know what I mean? Like it's like the song is almost sculpted around the use of it in terms of composition. And that's a very unique thing to be able to do, rather than just writing, you know, based on like sitting down writing it all on piano or something. It's like he's almost writing certain parts specifically for those sound effects. And that's very difficult to do even now, to like think of a song like that or write it like that. Yeah, so we're going to get into Zen Archer now. Really great song. Again, the sound effects are crazy. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get into Zen Archer. that song is like, I feel like that's probably one of the first, like, on the album at least, one of the first like proper songs. Because it's like it feels very like long. It's longer than all the other songs. It's 5 minutes and 35 seconds. So it's like that's a pretty hefty song. And it feels like there's a lot happening, it feels like, production wise. And the drums start off like the drums, and the drum pattern in this is crazy. Like it's just so like it's so good. And then when the drums drop out and you hear that the bass, like that boom 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 boom, boom, like that's so good. It's like something about that is just like so intoxicating. And like I really want to know if anybody knows, like I know there's probably a bunch of people that know about this album and like all the ins and the outs of it. If you know what that song is really about, please tell me, because I really kind of don't have a clue. It feels like I was like trying to pay attention to the lyrics, because it's like I don't think I ever really have before. And it feels like he's talking about like I don't know, like a fulfilling life, or like some kind of existential existence, you know, like he's talking about some kind of something existential, it feels like, and I'm not exactly sure. So I'm like, what does he specifically mean about the Zen archer? A life without meaning, and like what did he say? Death without something. Like that's so interesting. Like what exactly is he trying to say here? I've never really analyzed it before, but I really want to know exactly what he's talking about there. So if anybody knows, please tell me in the comments, because it's like usually during this album, I'm so marveled by like the production. I'm just like, oh, whoa, there's like arrow noises and like what's happening. Like I'm so marveled by that. I'm like, I don't focus on the lyrics at all. So if anybody can tell me like what some of the lyrics to these songs, like what he meant by them, or if like if it's just left up to your interpretation, maybe he never has said it publicly. I don't know. But yeah, please let me know if you know anything about it.
The blessing of the turtles, the eggs lay on the lawn. Paint a pretty picture for me to sit upon. The calling of the rabbit, the falling of the hare. The hat bending begins to play, the song is everywhere. Just another onion head. Another Virgin Mary, another case is shut. Have another helping, prime cut the baby's butt. A sip of holy water, a shot of saving grace. Another Western mystic, the words fall out my face.
Union Station, crutch me dolly again. Lock your telephone friend. Stay in your seat, watch what you eat. If you don't get a dead mule, then you're sure in heat. Da-da, dolly, hello. Da-da, dolly, you're...
All right, you know how I mentioned at the beginning of this that the cover kind of looks like Salvador Dali? How did I never notice that this song is clearly a reference to Salvador Dali? How did I not know that? Like I said, I never paid attention to the lyrics really, but this is clearly about Salvador Dali because he's mentioned in his works, like the lobster phone. I heard he said something about the alarm clock. That might be like the melting clock one. I don't even know what some of Dali's paintings are called. I watched a whole documentary on him, and I can't even remember the damn painting names. But yeah, he's probably my favorite painter, unironically. And I can't believe I didn't know. It seems like he's talking to Dali. But when did Dali pass? I don't think he passed away until the mid-'70s, right? After this album came out. Or I think he passed in the 70s because he was born in like hella early. Hold on. I gotta look this up real quick. Oh. Okay, never mind. He died in 89 apparently. So, yeah, I don't know. I thought he died in like the 70s. Okay, well, he died in 89. Wow, he almost lived till when I was born. That's crazy. Yeah, he was born in 1904. Wow. Wow, that's crazy. Wow, I had no idea. But yeah, this song is clearly about Salvador Dali. I don't know if Just Another Onion Head is, but Da Da Dali is clearly about him. That's very interesting. I never noticed that. All right, folks, let's get to when shit hits the fan.
Earthquake in New York City. The Chrysler building fell in my yard. But when the shit hits the fan, I think I'll have to make my way back inside.
that is basically, I think, the first side of the album, if I'm not mistaken. Those first 12 songs. Or maybe I don't think it's a double. No, it's not a double album. It wasn't originally a double album. Yeah. Because I think there was like originally problems with the vinyl, or one of the pressings wasn't there or something like that, where it's like he was trying to fit so much music on one side or something like that they had to like sacrifice the sound quality of it or something like that. Crazy imaginative. I think the second half is mostly just covers, or at least a lot of them are covers. There's like a cover medley or something, right? Yeah. I don't know which ones of these are actually covers. Maybe it's just the medley and then the other songs are original. I'm not super sure on that. But yeah, when shit hits the fan / Sunset Boulevard, love the drums in that. It just immediately like gives you a burst of energy. There's just something about that song that's just so cool to me. And then like the breakdowns and stuff, and then like just the drumming. I really appreciate the drumming in this album. It really sounds good. And then when it goes back into, you know, Les Feel International. I love the transitions and the way it transitions. One song transitions into the other. It just feels so natural and doesn't feel forced or anything like that. And you know, I wonder if when he says Utopia, wait another year, Utopia's here. I wonder if he said that in reference to his other group, or I don't know if he considers. I guess he considers this a solo album, right? Because his name is on it. Yeah, there's another group I know about called Utopia that he does with other musicians. And there's an album that I really love on that. I heard a while ago. I think I heard like 2014 or 15 for the first time. Disco Jets. Love that album. Love that album. The sound design on that album, the synthesizer use is crazy. I'll probably do a reaction to that one too, if it you know doesn't get taken down or anything like that. But that one is insane. Like, I love that one so much. Like, I think that really got me interested in like disco music, and it's kind of a letdown because a lot of disco music to me doesn't sound as good as that album. Like, it's kind of just more straightforward and less weird and, you know, synthesizer heavy, or like, you know. But something about the melodies in that album are so like they're genius, perfect melodies. They're catchy, they get stuck in your head. Perfect disco, like it's perfect. And I think it came out like 76 or something like that. So to me, it was kind of like ahead of the curve almost, like in terms of like a lot of disco, because a lot of disco that like became like super, super popular, I feel like came out like late 70s, like 78, 79, early 80s. So before it eventually like died out and turned into like house music. Man, that's a genius album. This is a genius album. Todd Rundgren is just a genius all around. Yeah, without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into the second half of this album. I don't want to ramble on too long, but yeah. So far, fantastic. Hope you're having a good time. Please subscribe, like I said earlier in the video. And yeah. Okay, second half. Here we go.
Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I don't know. I just don't know what to feel. Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what to feel. Everything I thought that I knew starts to look so unreal. There's a ringing in my head that keeps me awake at night. Sometimes I don't know what is right. Today I saw a car push my little dog under its wheel. It did not even stop, it just sped off and out of sight. Sometimes I just feel so afraid, but I know that no one else has a name. So if I just believe in myself, I won't need no help from nobody else, and I can make it out. Every
Fantastic song. It's just like so. It feels more like Something Anything. In terms of like vibe, it's like you don't get a whole lot of the synthesizer like craziness or wonderment, but it feels very familiar. It feels like more akin to like probably what else was going on in the 70s, early 70s with like balladry and like, you know, I like the horns and everything on it. And again, the drums are just fantastic in this album. Yeah, very straightforward song. I feel like it's very self-explanatory. Yeah, just overall great song. And as you can see, I think it probably has the most amount of Spotify listens, actually. It's like almost 900,000. Oh, no, that goes to Zen Archer. Oh, no, actually, International Feel. Okay. Yeah, this is the third most listened song on the album, though, apparently. So, for good reason, though. It's a really good song. Let's get into Does Anybody Love You?
Talk, you can talk, but if you ask me, take all your big words and put them together. What good will they do when the long day is through? Does anybody love you? Do you think that anybody's in love with you? Can dress up or just down as you gaze in the mirror hung up on your body. What good can it be when there's no one there to see? Does anybody love you? Do you think that anybody's in love? You're so lovely, so wise, you made it strong. Love between the early is the most beautiful love of all. Does anybody love you? Do you think that anybody's in love with you? Is anybody in love with you? You're prettier than all the world. I'm so proud. I'm so proud. I'm so proud of you. 'Cause you're only one fella's girl. I'm so proud. I'm so proud. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of being loved by you. And it would hurt to know if you ever were untrue. Yeah, sweeter than a taste of a cherry, so sweet. Yeah, yeah, and I'm so proud. I'm so proud. I'm so proud of you. Compliments to you, all the people we meet. Yes, babe, and I'm so proud. I'm so proud. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of being loved heart went out to play, but in the game I lost you. What a price to pay. Hey, I'm crying. Ooh, baby, baby. I know I made a few, but I'm only human. You've made mistakes too. I'm crying. Ooh, baby, baby. About at the end of my road, but I can't stop trying. I can't give up hope, 'cause I believe one day I'll hold you near, whisper I still love you. Until that day is here, ooh, I'm crying. Ooh, baby, baby. Ooh, baby, baby. Many guys have come to you with a line that wasn't true, and then you passed them by. Now you're in the center ring, and their lies don't mean a thing. Why won't you let me try? Now, I don't have a diamond ring. I don't even know a song to sing. All I know is la 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 means I love you. Oh, baby, la 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 means I love you. If I ever saw a girl that I needed in this world, you are the one for me. One for me. Let me take you in my arms, fill you with my charms. I'm sure that you will see. The things I am saying are true, and the way I say them to you. Can't you hear me? La 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 means I love you. Wow, you're my small lady, baby. La 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 means I love you. smirk, but they know I'm the king of the cool jerk. Cool jerk. Cool jerk. Look at them guys looking at me like I'm a fool. Oh, but deep down inside, they know I'm cool. I said now the moment of truth has finally come, when I will show you some of that cool jerk. All right, now I want to hear a little bit of the drums by himself there. Woo! All right, now I want to hear a little bit of the bass with those 88s. All right, now let the organ there fall in. All right, now everybody, I want to hear y'all. This cat they're talking about, I wonder who could it be? 'Cause I know I'm the heaviest cat you ever did see. When you see me walking down the street, they crossing that next beat. All the bitches they don't wear the swear, 'cause they know I'm the king of the cool jerk. Cool jerk. Cool jerk. Come on, people. Can you do it now? Come on, people. Can you do it? 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 Can you do it?
That's a pretty great medley. There's not really a whole lot to say other than that. It's just very, it's very like, all these songs are very what I think of when I think of like smooth, like late 70s, late 60s, early 70s, like smooth R&B soul type of music. Like that's what I think of when I think these songs. And then when it ends with Cool Jerk, I don't know if I've ever actually heard the original of that song. I mean, I must have at some point, but I don't really remember it. So I'm wondering if that's the actual time signature the song is in, because if it is, that's impressive. And it just sounds, I like his rendition of it. It sounds really good, but I'm sure I've heard the song. I just can't I can't remember how like familiar. I think I'm more familiar with this version than the actual original version. But I like that he ends the medley off with something with some energy. I also don't think I even talked about Does Anybody Love You? Great song. I really like it. Again, I kind of like how short and sweet and simple it is. It has a really great melody. And I like how it feels like the drums are not like super heavy in that song. They feel a little stripped down. It feels kind of like that song has like a really like a weird like homemade kind of sound to it somehow. I don't know why, but it feels like very homemade. It sounds like something that's like not like big budget, super crazy, $1 million studio sound. It kind of just sounds like he made it in his house or something. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he recorded most of these, if not everything, in an actual studio. But for whatever reason, that has a very like homemade kind of like, sweet sound to it. So yeah, we're gonna get into the rest of the album here. Hungry for Love, I Don't Want to Tie You Down, Is It My Name, Just One Victory. Seems like Just One Victory has a lot of streams too. 760,000. That's a lot. That make it like the fourth most on this, right? Yeah. I don't know. I don't really remember what that song sounds like, so I feel like it's probably a ballad though. But yeah, we're gonna get into the rest of the album. Thanks for sticking around if you're still around and watching the video. And yeah, here we go.
I'm old-fashioned cooking, caviar and champagne. A meal at McDonald's. Muffin fills a man when he's hungry for love. Give him love, make him feel alright. Give him love, help him sleep at night. Give him love, give him one more bite. He's hungry for love. Give him that. it's hard to look up under the times we're going through. I scratch my head and stare and wonder how to face the day anew. But it gives my life a bit more meaning to feel in love with you. So heavy, I don't wanna weigh you down. Oh baby, I don't wanna tie you down. I don't wanna think tomorrow is ever the picture that we made.
gonna stop it there just to be able to talk about "Hungry for Love" and the other songs that I didn't talk about right after. "Hungry for Love" has a really good I like the phrasing, like just the gimme 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 part. The rhythm is kind of just like so interesting in that. Like I can't think of another artist that like combines so many, like juxtaposes so many different types of things together, and it somehow still makes sense all in the context of the album. Like I've never seen an artist have like an R&B, like a throwback kind of, like, even for the time these songs kind of feel, maybe not. I don't know exactly when the R&B medley, the soul medley came out, but or like when those original songs came out. So I can't really speak on that per se, but it feels it has this like slower, kind of older sound, but in context to even the first half of the album, it doesn't sound out of place, because you have songs like, what's the name of the song? I already forgot it. Never Neverland. Songs like that kind of help bridge that like gap, and it doesn't feel so like out of place. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but it doesn't feel out of place to me on the context of this album. It still feels like it fits. And I feel like that's very uniquely like Todd Rundgren. Like, I don't feel like a lot of other artists would even attempt to do something like that. I feel like maybe they think it's too dangerous. Well, maybe, I don't know, at the time, maybe people were taking more creative liberties. I don't really know what the landscape of the music was back at the time, like how people felt about like single versus album stuff. Because now a lot of people want to just make singles and stuff like that because like that's what works. People have very short attention spans. So as an artist, you kind of have to keep people interested. I mean, basically that's why I'm making content in general. If you want to break the fourth wall a little bit, that's why I'm making content in general. I wish I could just focus on music, but it's not really that simple nowadays. You kind of have to do other things to kind of lure people into wanting to listen to you. So the fact that I feel like he can do things like this on a project and still get like, because a lot of the black community, I would imagine from Something Anything, I think at the time he was on a couple like popular like black television shows like about music and performing wise. So I'm just like, that's interesting that he can have this like crossover gap to like, you know, people that listen to stuff like the Nas, the band that he had before, and then also have an audience in the black community where it's like generally, I would imagine that people back then, or even probably now, wouldn't want to listen to something like the Nas, even though I'm kind of an oddball. I like stuff like that. You know, I think music has evolved over time where people can listen to stuff that they like more openly, and it doesn't really matter what color you are. But it's just the crossover is what I'm really getting at here. It's like, it's very interesting that he has so experimental songs in this album, but also has like songs that feel like they fit into that like motif of early 70s R&B and that soul kind of sound. So that's super interesting to me that it still all works somehow. And I feel like he has a lot of crossover appeal. I Don't Want to Tie You Down is a nice song. I really like the drums in that one too. Is It My Name? I don't think I've that song, when I just heard it just now, it's just like, it kind of surprised me a little bit when that guitar kind of swelled up and then the drums came in like that towards like the middle / ending of the song. I don't think I really heard that one or paid attention to that one too much, so that was pretty interesting. Yeah, and then now we're just on to the last song of the album. It's been a pretty crazy ride. Just One Victory. Again, a song that I'm not super familiar with. I don't really remember this song that much. It's been a couple of years since I heard the album in full like this. I usually just listen to International Feel, to be honest, and a couple other songs. But yeah, thanks for taking this ride with me, this journey. And I hope you guys like the content. Please subscribe, like I said. Please go listen to my music if you're interested. It'll be in the description down below. And this is the last song.
We've been waiting so long. We've been waiting so long. We've been waiting for the sun to rise and shine, shine and still. Give us the wind, and you hear me, the sound of my voice. gossip going round. You may think that I'm a fool, but I know the answer. Words become a tool. Anyone can use them. Take the golden rule as the best example eyes that have seen will know what I mean. Time has a gun. We take the bull by the horns. We've been so downhearted. You've been so forlorn. Get a weak and we want to give in. We still need each other if we want to win. If you don't know what to do about a world of trouble, you can pull it through if you need to, and if you believe it's true, it will surely happen, shining still. Give us the will. We've been waiting so long. Been waiting so long. Been waiting for the sun to rise and shine, shining still. Give us the will, bright as the day. Show us the way, somehow, someday. We need just one victory, and we're on our way. We're praying for it all day, and fighting for it all night. Give us just one victory, it will be alright. We may feel about to fall, but we go down fighting. You will hear the call if you only listen. Underneath it all, we are here together, shining still. Give us the will, rise the day. Show us the way, someday, someday. Just one victory, and we're on our way. Pray for it all day, fight for it all night. Just one victory, we are
And that is the album. Yeah, thanks again for watching, everybody. Please subscribe. Like I said, hit that like button. I'll see you guys in the next one.